Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Robert.
And Chris.
Today we are talking about university. Overall, I really liked my university experience. It gave me the chance to another city, to Berlin. It gave me the chance to learn more, to gain more knowledge generally, and it gave me, I think that the biggest point for me is, it gave me access to a student organization in which I learned a lot and developed myself a lot. I think this is, I have a certificate now at the end where I graduated, which is good for the CV. Yeah, I'd say, and luckily in my university I had the chance to extend my semesters without any problems. So it would have been very hard to, it would have been tougher to stick to the 6 semesters. But luckily I had the chance to also prolong it without any issues, which made it smoother for me. How about you?
I would describe my university experience as surprisingly good. I had very low expectations. I'll be honest, I had very low expectations when I started because it wasn't the university that I initially hoped I would get into. I was hoping to get into a university in London called London School of Economics for economics. And I didn't get it. I didn't get in. I instead went to the University of Nottingham, and I didn't think it was the same in the very beginning. But I think it was partly my second and third year in terms of the content that was taught and the resources that were put at my disposal. But also, as you mentioned, the same student organization, which is where we met, was where I felt the most challenged, and I felt that I kind of expanded my horizon the most. And I think meeting all the people that I did meet was what made this experience so good. And by opening my horizons, I think it also gave me an opportunity to move forward with some of the connections that I've made and actually make something out of the university experience, not just, let it sit there and,
Maybe mingling more with my colleagues, with my students, with the other students, because I didn't so much, at least not in my classes, because I had the other circles, student organization, for example, where I found my peers. So that, I guess that's something. And as funny as it sounds, I guess everyone is saying, or a lot of people are saying, it's studying more at times, in the sense of, I actually did this in 2 semesters. I really did study from the very beginning until the very end, that I was continuously learning, and the exams were so much easier. And then the other semesters I were not doing it. I was like, did I learn from the past that this is more useful?
a real example for us.
Other than that, no. There are things that I wish university-wise to improve, but I will tell that later. How was it for you?
For me, I think similar to you. I wish I'd spent more time with the people in my year, because I tended to make a lot of friends outside of the economics student body. I think I have like 3 friends from economics. Yeah, that's one thing, because I do think that, if we ever do meet again, these are the people that, the friends that I've made are the ones that I'll keep in touch, sure, but I don't know what would have happened if I'd made more friends from the economics student body, and, it's always worth making friends. But also, I don't regret not studying. I started studying about a month and a half to 2 months before the exam. Wish I would have used the university resources more, because the university put a huge library with a lot of books at my disposal, and I didn't make the most out of it. I remember in first year I was so keen, and I spent some time reading books that had nothing to do with my degree and stuff, or at least not in the bibliography. But I didn't do that in second and third year, and the only time I ever did get to do that again was for my dissertation, because I was reading around the topic, and I found it nice, but I regret not kind of taking more ownership of the random studying that happened during university. Because I think sometimes you learn more about other topics at university than your own degree, especially at parties.
I would also add from my side, I sometimes I chose sometimes consciously courses that were less difficult, but in the long run, the difficult courses where I had to learn programming or whatever would have helped me more now in the future. But I chose consciously, oh no, I go the easy way.
Same, yeah. I took a lot of Spanish, and I could speak Spanish a bit, so it was just easy marks. Don't get me wrong, it's great that I have a qualification saying that, oh, this guy knows Spanish, but it's not quite the same as if I'd taken something like Chinese. I did want to kind of talk about the perspective, the whole perspective of university. Do you think there's anything that would be different if it had been different?
Now, one thing is definitely, speaking from I mean, I can only speak from my experience, it was a lot of theory, a lot of, but I chose that, so I'm aware of it, but I wished more practical approaches at times, and a lot of times I was missing, which then later diminished my motivation. I was missing the why. Why am I learning this and where do I apply this? So and this, luckily, I found the practical applications in the student organization I work with. Those was the perfect supplement. That's why I was satisfied overall. Though only university, then the real world taste would have missed. I would just be in a bubble with some weird models that don't exist.
Yeah.
To say it very harsh.
I mean, honestly, this is a lot from what I've read around the topic of universities and what they've been doing lately. But I think universities lately have increased the number of administrative staff, so like secretaries, administrators, managers, these kind of positions, much more than the number of teaching staff, so actual professors. And I think that's a bit of a problem because that means that the universities now focus less on teaching, which is kind of the core of it. And I think if universities want to be as focused as possible on the students, they need to kind of come up with novel ways to teach students, to engage both visually, auditively, kinesthetically by doing stuff, so practical exercises. And I know it's easier for you because you were involved in a student organization that was focused a lot on the business aspect, and you did business. But even something similar, like economics, it's not something that you necessarily see in practice, except by reading The Economist and Financial Times and stuff like that. And even that I would like to see a bit more practicality and a bit more engagement to all the degrees rather than just, engineering doing engineering stuff. Cool, so I think we've covered most of the topic. So thank you very much for joining us, and see you next time.
If you have other comments on the topic of universities, please let us know below. Give us a like and check out other videos. Other than that, see you around. Bye bye.